our guest line this morning, Representative Jeff Duncan from the 3rd District. Welcome. It's been a while. Good to catch up with you.
Joey, it's great to be on with you this morning.
First, and I want to talk with you about your op-ed last week about non-citizen voting, but first I want to address the caller who left a message a minute ago concerning John Durham's charge that lawyers for Hillary Clinton's campaign paid a computer technology company to not only spy on Donald Trump as a private citizen, but on Donald Trump when he became president of the United States. Do you think this is going to lead back to Hillary Clinton, and will anything happen?
Well, I think everything points to Hillary Clinton. This Spygate, like I want to call it, Hillary Clinton Spygate, is probably bigger than Watergate. With all the people that have been involved, I mean, you look at the Democrats trying to push the Russian hoax narrative against Donald Trump even before he was elected. We now know that the Steele dossier was crafted and used to lie to the FISA court to get a warrant to spy on Donald Trump during the campaign and even after he got in the White House. And now we see the Durham report, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg because there are a lot of whistleblowers that are coming out. So this thing is huge. I think it points directly to Hillary Clinton's campaign and to her. She had to have some knowledge of it, I believe. But we're getting shipped upon here by Adam Schiff and others that have tried to poo-poo this. The part that amazes me is the mainstream media, Joey, that have not been willing to cover these Durham revelations at all.
Yeah, and they've been totally silent on it. You're right. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy yesterday pledged to look into this further should the GOP take back the control of the House in November. What are some of the possibilities? And look, I'm very optimistic. I think we're going to do well in November. So what could possibly happen if you guys take control again?
Well, we're going to take back control of the House. There's no doubt about that. The 30th Democrat announced her retirement yesterday. That's 30 Democrats that don't want to face opposition this fall. And if you look at redistricting around the country, the numbers work in our favor with Texas picking up seats and a lot of seats coming out of Illinois and New York, California, where they lost representation. They're moving into red states. And then we've got great candidates out there. So I believe we do take back the House. And then you got guys like Jim Jordan will be chairman of Judiciary. Jamie Comer will be chairman of of Oversight and Governmental Reforms. That's a committee that Trey Gowdy was on, that he shined on, Darrell Issa and Jason Chaffetz. So we've got a lot of rock stars that are in positions to really delve into all these things, whether it's Judiciary going after the DOJ and their failures. I want to see us open back up the Russian hoax, Steele dossier, the Strzok, Page, Comey, Rosenstein, McCabe crowd that were running DOJ and FBI at the time that failed to really disclose their knowledge, and they were working against Donald Trump the whole way. And then you got the whole Hillary Clinton now infiltrating the White House. So there's a lot of issues to deal with. And then you throw in the Fauci issue and the Wuhan lab leak and the narrative that was out there, the change narrative, as Jim Jordan's pointing out, that Fauci and them really believed it was man-made, and then they poo-pooed that 4 days into it. It's just crazy, all the things that we're going to have to deal with come January of next year.
Yeah. On our guest line this morning, Congressman Jeff Duncan from the 3rd District. All right, so on to Russia and the Ukraine. President Biden said yesterday that he will not commit American troops to a potential war in Ukraine. There's a lot of ongoing talks about sanctions. Where do you think we're headed here with this?
Well, the sanctions should have happened last year. We should have never lifted the sanctions on Nord Stream 2, which gave Vladimir Putin and his oligarch money flowing from Europe by providing natural gas to Europe. We should have kept sanctions in place, and we should provide Europe with, U.S.-produced LNG and prop up the energy sector here at home versus propping up Vladimir Putin. He was laughing all the way to the bank and still is. So Europe's dependent on Russia for their energy sources, and now Biden's talking about sanctions. It's a little too late for that. I'm all for sanctions. I'm all for trying to stop Russia and stop Vladimir Putin at any turn. But the Biden administration has emboldened Putin by basically lining his pocket. So now we've got a lot of talks about Russian troops pulling back from Ukraine. I don't know what Vladimir Putin has in mind. I think we ought to release the transcripts between Biden and Zelensky, maybe the transcripts between Biden and Putin, and find out what was said on those calls, just like they demanded Trump's transcripts.
Yep. As we head into the midterms in November, of course, election integrity, a big concern. A lot of Americans just don't trust the process. Now the Democrats want to allow non-citizens to vote, and they're doing so in some cities. You addressed this in a recent column, and great column, by the way. How does anyone justify allowing a non-citizen the right to vote?
It's really unbelievable. And this has been going on for quite a while, because I first introduced this legislation back in 2018 to stop non-citizens from voting in any election. They had been voting, I know, in Maryland and Baltimore city elections and city elections around the country. City today, state tomorrow, federal the next day. The Democrats have H.R. 1, which is a voting bill that basically federalizes all elections and takes it out of the hands of the state. That's the wrong way. The Constitution says that the state legislatures are responsible for the manner and date and time and when elections are held. And so we cannot federalize this and give the power to Washington. That's the wrong thing. I want to keep that power divested out to the states. We should not allow non-citizens to vote in any election. It's not a reality that's anywhere else in the world. Why are we allowing that in the United States? It waters down what it means to be a citizen and our right to vote. So only United States citizens should vote in United States elections, and that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, your bill that you sponsor, Protecting Our Democracy by Preventing Foreign Citizens from Voting Act, Senator Marco Rubio sponsored it in the U.S. Senate as well. Do you think it has a chance of passing, Congressman?
It won't in this election. Nancy Pelosi will never let it come up even for a hearing, and but it sets the right marker. And when we take back control, and I think we'll win the Senate as well, we'll put this bill on the president's desk and let him be the one to veto. And Americans need to see where Democrats are. It's not about just giving non-citizens the right to vote. It's about power and control. They want more voters. They've got an open border allowing, hundreds of thousands, not millions of illegal non-citizens to come into this country. And we're going to give them the right to vote. The Democrats hope they'll vote Democrat. It's all about them winning elections and maintaining power and control. They don't care about you as an American. They don't care about a lot of the constitutional rights that you have. All they care about is power and control and controlling Americans. So it's the wrong thing, and we're going to hopefully get this bill to the president's desk.
We're talking with Representative Jeff Duncan this morning. We could easily spend an hour or more talking about all the things that have gone wrong in this short period of time that Joe Biden has been sitting in the Oval Office. First, did you ever think that things could get so bad so quickly? Secondly, what concerns you most about the Biden administration and some of the things that have gone wrong during this first year?
Well, Joey, I heard the United States men's bobsled team renamed their bobsled Biden because nobody's made America go downhill faster. And we see that. You look at, go to a grocery store and look at the bare shelves and look at the inflated prices. And inflation is rampant all across the spectrum, whether it's energy prices for your heating your home or fueling your car, transportation fuels. The prices of everything from bacon to automobiles has gone up under this president. He's killed the American energy sector by a Keystone Pipeline, but it was other things like a methane rule and canceling offshore and onshore federal leases for oil and gas sales. That limits royalties that come in that pay for national parks and wilderness areas and public spaces. This administration, it seems like at every turn, is wanting to hurt America. Open borders, hundreds of thousands of people coming into our country. And when they come into the states, and the Biden administration is flying a lot of those people to the interior states, midnight flights hidden from the American people, hidden from the media. And once those illegal aliens get into this area, and Arizona has gone to the Supreme Court over this, states end up having to pay for those. So because those people, their children go to our schools. They utilize our health care facilities. They use government services that our state tax dollars pay for, and that's wrong. And so, it seems like everywhere we turn, we see, weakness through these policies of the Biden administration. I believe that Vladimir Putin would not have been so aggressive against Ukraine had a president like President Trump been in office, someone who believed in peace through strength. And our NATO allies are looking around. They saw what happened in Afghanistan, Americans left behind. Why would anyone want to serve in the Foreign Service now if they think they could be stranded in a foreign country? It's just crazy, Joey. Everywhere we turn, we see where the Biden administration has failed this country.
Yep. One final question. I read yesterday where the Biden administration is asking you guys to approve another $30 billion in Kovitz spending. I read reports where there's still a lot of money out there that state and local governments haven't been able to spend yet. They're literally finding reasons to spend it. Does Biden really believe that continuing to spend money is going to get us out of inflation and get us out of the economic mess we're in?
Well, that's the Democrat way to throw more money at it versus letting the private sector and the free market take care of things. Most people believe the COVID virus has really been tamped down and is a non-starter. They don't want to see us vote for more money. The South Carolina General Assembly is debating right now during their budget. They're stumbling over all the cash they've got from the CARES Act and from Washington, trying to figure out ways to spend, throwing more money at this. What we need to do is end vax mandates, end mask mandates, end lockdowns, and get the government the heck out of the way and allow the free market and the entrepreneurs to come back and provide the jobs and address the supply chain issues and all these other things instead of trying to throw more money at a problem, and that is not the solution.
Yeah, Congressman Jeff Duncan, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for your time. Be safe, and God bless.
Same to you, Joey. Thanks. God bless.
Yeah. Congressman.